Hello, my name is John Rose, and this is my little girl Sienna. And as you can see, I have some more mangoes out here today. I'm getting ready to eat my dinner here shortly, but before I do, I'd like to talk about the fructose in fruits. And I'm not sure how long I'll be able to handle my dog here. It's going to be a pretty warm day today, about 93. It's around 6:30 right now. Been biking for a couple hours and walking for a little while. And again, my little dog is going to go crazy trying to be comfortable with the sun beaming on her right here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. But anyway, in just a moment I'm going to eat those mangoes. But like I said before I do, I want to talk about the fructose that is in fruit. It's been demonized, vilified, saying, oh, bad fructose in fruit. Fruit bad. Amazing how much confusion there is on the subject of nutrition. And yes, they've done quite a few studies implicating how bad fructose is, but it's the high fructose corn syrup and other refined sweeteners that's the problem, not fruit. But yet fruit's getting a lot of blame for it. They're saying, oh, these are modern cultivated fruits. It's not the same as ancestral wild fruits. Well, that's not true. Not a whole lot of studies done on the nutrient content of wild fruits, especially in the sugar area. But there are a few. And when we look at them, what we find is that both the modern fruits today that have been hybridized, they've been cultivated, they both have, both the wild fruits and these, they both have about 50% fructose. Oh my God, it's bad. Your liver is going to blow up. Yeah, right. My friends, this is what we're supposed to eat. It's the processed foods, the high fructose corn syrup, that's the problem. There are virtually no studies done on fruit on healthy people. Now the chances are you probably never will see a decent study done. You'll never see a decent study done on fruit with people. You'll see a bunch of garbage studies probably. But they'll never try to prove that the fructose in fruit is bad for you, because if they put a bunch of people on a fruit diet, guess what's going to happen? Oh my God, the fructose level, we see you're consuming more fructose level, but this disease is gone, and that disease is gone, and that disease is gone. That's what they're going to find out. Because this is the food we're meant to eat. This is the food that will heal you when you're sick. Why? Because you're going to not be eating the wrong food. And these are the things that are going to help get your lymph system moving. Because that's where the disease is coming from. And doctors don't know this. It's a mystery to doctors, the whole disease process. Because they don't understand how the lymph system works and how it backs back up. Now obviously they're studying it, but they're not studying it very effectively. Just like they don't understand how cancer does not attack a lymph node. It's the other way around. Dirt does not attack a vacuum cleaner, but that's how they think of things. When you read their textbooks, you can see that they understand the technical applications of what they're learning, but not the practical. They don't understand how the body's supposed to function. They don't understand how the lymph system works. And how when we eat the wrong food, it damages the kidneys and the lymph system doesn't get filtered. And then it backs up. And when it backs up, what do we have? Inflammation. What are the 5 main symptoms of inflammation? Redness, swelling, fever, pain, impairment of function. What are the first 2 symptoms? 2 fluids to the rescue. The kitchen and the lymph system. Redness, the blood. Swelling, the lymph fluids. But that's not the only thing that can make things turn red. It's also because of the acid burn from the waste matter. That's in the lymph system. Now how much it's going to turn depends on how much bacteria you have in your lymph nodes. When our cells poop, it goes into a lipid-based, cholesterol-based fluid to deal with the acid side of chemistry. They poop a 3 pH. The bacteria inside the lymph nodes eat that up, convert it to 6 pH. Now if our lymph system backs up into our tissues, what is going to be backing up? 6 pH or 3 pH? The hotter it is, the redder it's going to be. So if you have conditions like rosacea, or even pemphigus, an autoimmune disease where the body's attacking itself, it's your lymph system backing up into your tissues. If it's red and it's inflamed, it's an acid burn. Now, if you sprain your ankle, you'll have a swelling there too, and it can get red. But that's the blood going in to provide the nutrients. I think if I throw a piece of mango at my girl, maybe it'll slow her down. Let me just grab a piece of this real quick. I'm going to do some barehanded eating. If you haven't seen this before, I've done some other videos. I'll put a link down below on barehanded eating. And I'm going to see if I can calm my little girl down. You're not happy in the sun, are you? The problem is I can't figure out a good place to put her. In the shade over here, where I can strap it or something. Is that going to work? Okay, I think I got her. Okay, my friend. This is the food we're supposed to eat. It's the only food that wants us to eat it. And not all animals have that ability to use that as a criterion, but we do. The fact that this food wants us to eat it should tell volumes to us. The fructose is natural. We need sugar. We want simple. We don't want complex. We don't want starch. We want simple. We want amino acids. The free-floating amino acids in the fruit. We don't want the protein in flesh foods. Paleo people are going, oh my God, the fruit nowadays is not the same. It's sweeter. Well, yeah, it's going to be sweeter because wild fruits are higher in vitamin C. And that's going to make it a little more sour. But face it, our food is not grown to nourish us anymore. It's to make money. So there's a lot to be desired for the fruit that we have available now. But we still have to accept our anatomical limitations that we're given at birth. There's only certain foods we're designed to eat. And that's the only thing that matters. It's amazing how much of a state of denial we are that we can't figure that simple concept out. Every animal has a species-specific diet. This is our species-specific food. Unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world anymore, and this is our ideal food in an ideal world. So, we do have to make a few modifications. I've gone over this in many of my other videos. I'm going to go ahead and tackle these mangoes. Fast forward here in just a few moments and see if I can strap my little baby in the shade. And I'll try to come back after I eat these mangoes and perhaps have some concluding remarks. See you in a little bit. Okay, time to slow it back down. I just had 7 mangoes, 90 ounces, a little over 5.5 pounds of mangoes that I brought out with me, and I just had those for my dinner. Had a couple liters of vegetable juice earlier today, and that's what I've been doing lately. So, my friends, yes, those were about 50% fructose, or approximately. Most of your modern fruits and your wild fruits across the board about 50% fructose. Wild fruits aren't any different. Now there is a little bit of a difference between the modern fruits. They're a lot juicier. We made them sweeter and juicier. And because of that, the wild fruits are a little more calorie dense. The numbers look a little bit better. The protein looks better. All the numbers look better because of the calories. Or when you base it on weight, rather. So, a lot depends on how you analyze information. If you're going to analyze things based on its weight, and some food has more water in it, then it's going to look like it doesn't have as much nutrients in it. But we don't want to be focused on isolated nutrients like fructose, but we want to be focused on our simpler concepts, like make sure we don't have things inside of us that don't belong there. That's what causes our problems. High fructose corn syrup doesn't belong inside of us. Artificial sweeteners do not belong inside of us. Fruit belongs inside of us. That's what we're supposed to eat. Don't be afraid of the fructose. And don't think you got to go out and do what I'm doing, biking it off. Fructose is not a poison. It's not a grenade that's going to make your liver explode. Oh, it's a poison. If you don't burn it off, it's going to kill you. Poppycock. It's natural. It's what we're supposed to eat. Now, granted, we don't live in an ideal world anymore. We're not growing our food the way it's supposed to be. It could be a lot more nutrient dense. Things would be a lot different if we never would have started cooking our food. This would be a non-issue. But now it is an issue. And we might have to modify what we normally do to make sure we're giving our body everything it needs. But most of our problems aren't so much from the deficiency side as they are the toxicity side. It's the things inside us that don't belong in there. Once again, right now, high fructose corn syrup represents about 20% of our diet. This is the problem. It's not fruit. If anything, fruit would be our salvation. Remember, we have a symbiotic relationship with fruit. It really wants us to eat it. It wants us to help it propagate, spread its seed. So I realize there's a lot of confusion out there in the nutrition department. A lot of people are going back to the paleo diet, and sure, they're going to see a lot better results with that diet than they were before because they're getting rid of all the processed foods. But don't believe the hype. They don't have any references for the claims they make that the wild fruit was smaller and not as sweet and not, things like that, because it turns out that's not true at all. We have wild fruits that are bigger than ones we have now. Just as much fructose. The key difference I mentioned earlier is that they're higher in vitamin C, which is going to make it a little bit on the acid side, make it a little bit of sour. I'm telling you, my friends, it's hard to make sense out of all of this. That's why it's best to take a solid food vacation to try to make some sense out of it. Or take a mango vacation, or a grape vacation, or a watermelon vacation. That's what a lot of people do. Take a grape fast. People in Europe will go to grape vineyards in France and spend a couple of weeks. That's their vacation. Eat nothing but grapes. There's a book out called The Grape Cure. Woman cured her cancer, eat nothing but grapes. Oh, the sugar feeds the cancer. Bullshit. Doctors don't know what cancer is. In most cases, cancer is an acid burn from our waste matter. Anything unnatural can cause problems. Too much of anything, too much sunshine, too much radiation can cause problems. But then you go turn around and you get a mammogram, equivalent to 7,000 x-rays. Ladies, if you're going to do mammograms, or you're going to have the breast checks, do tomography, not mammograms. They cause cancer. Most of what doctors do to us make us work. That's why they're the #1 cause of death in America. That's why when doctors go on strike, the death rate drops. Google it. It's happened. Every time they go on strike, the death rate drops. Let's put these clowns out of business. We can put them out of business by changing what we do. That's the only solution. We can vote with our money. Support those industries that support our way of life. Stop buying health insurance. You don't need that crap. Buy some accident insurance if you feel accident prone. Personally, I don't want to gamble that I'm going to hurt myself and I need that money. If we lived in a sane world, we would take care of everyone that had an accident to them. They wouldn't have to be accountable. We wouldn't have to save up for an accident day, like a rainy day. Because we'd be all connected. We'd know that we got to help those that are hurting. And if anyone gets injured, they shouldn't have to worry about taking care of themselves. That's what we're here for. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be the guardians on this planet. We're failing miserably. Why? Because we can't even establish our own relationship with the food that wants us to eat it. And that's all we have to do. Reestablish, honor that relationship with the only food that wants us to eat it. Satisfy all of our needs. It's not a panacea. That's ridiculous to think all you got to do is eat the right food and forget everything else. You got to move your body. You got to have positive thoughts and emotions. You got to get a good night's sleep. Go to bed at a good time. Remember, our bodies heal when we're sleeping. Very important. If you're sick, get a lot of sleep. If you're on a solid food vacation and you wake up tired because you're sick, you've been sick, and you wake up exceptionally tired, your body's in tune to what's going on. If you can, stay in bed. Don't feel guilty about it, because that's how you're going to do your healing. So my friends, don't be afraid of fructose. Be afraid of fire. Be afraid of processed foods. Be afraid of things that are unnatural. Now, one may argue, well, these fruits are no longer natural. They're hybridized. They're cultivated. Well, they are. But they're still the food we're meant to eat. It's where we got to start. And then once we correct those basic mistakes, then life will be totally different. We'll have a different mentality. We'll no longer want to compete for resources. We'll realize the value of cooperating. We'll understand altruistic reciprocal altruism. We'll understand the more we give, the more we receive. And the only way we can do that is by bumping up our biophotons. We got to eat more biophoton-rich food. Remember, the fall of mankind happened when we stopped eating biophotons. They're in our food. And we kill them when we cook it. That's why cooking is the fall of mankind. That's why there's a simple solution to solve most of our problems. We can change our mentality. We don't even have to think about what to do. We'll know instinctively what our role is on this planet. We're the guardians on this planet. We're supposed to be taking care of everyone and everything else. We're not doing that. We can't even take care of ourselves, so it begins with us. It begins with you taking responsibility. It begins with you becoming the best that you can be. It begins with you by sharing this message. Get excited. Remember, attitudes are contagious. Enthusiasm, root word in theos, the God within. Get excited. Share the message. We don't need to suffer. There's a simple solution for most of our problems. And I know everyone out there listening knows dozens of people that are in pain and they're suffering. And either you haven't tried to share this with them or you have, and it's a tough sell, I understand. But don't give up. Remember, the world depends on us. We need more trim tabs. And when you play your role and be a trim tab, I guarantee you, this world is in for a treat.